I am excited about this episode.
Corey's having a pun war.
I'm having a fun war
Instagram.
in the cookie college.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Back on Tuesdays.
I'm gonna let you start it.
I don't like to get beaten. So feel free to go ahead and start it.
You old yoker.
Okay, this is the Baking It Down podcast with Sugar Cookie Marketing. As Ginger pointed out,
sadlier.
this is the Baking It Down
There
podcast.
you go. Give it a little zhuzh.
This is the Baking It Down podcast. I can't ever top Archer's intro. My life is
Wait,
less
try
bright.
to say it like you did. I forgot.
This is the podcast with your host, Heather and Corrie.
The other day I was listening to a murder podcast and they're just like, "Are you listening to the podcast where I intro it?" No.
It's about to be a murder podcast, so be quiet. So in the Baking It Down podcast, Corey, if you could describe it in one sentence, what would it be?
Grow your baking business while you bake.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. I was like, it's that one sentence.
So yeah, that's a great point. What we wanted to do is obviously the Facebook group has a lot of great information, but sometimes it's lost in the shuffle of a Facebook newsfeed and constricted by an algorithm. So with the
Heather
podcast,
likes to delete a lot of stuff. So
delete everything. So whatever's left is hardly worth reading. So we like to take it to the podcast so we can discuss what is being discussed here. Right?
we honestly didn't think anyone would listen to it if we are being quite honest with ourselves.
We are exceptionally excited. Excited. There's a twofer, guys. There's a twofer.
Next one will cost you.
So in this podcast, we start with the intro, and then we're going to go to the marketing minutes, which you want to talk about what today?
I want to talk about cookie classes, in-person cookie classes.
What a buzzword.
Yes.
Baking a business, I am going to do a buzzword killer SWOT analysis.
No.
Super, real super. Course coverage, just talking about the Cookie College membership. Everyone seems to be really excited over there. Got a couple of voicemails of people telling you to join. Did not pay them.
I did. Just kidding.
And group stuff, Twinterests sponsors, and Mailbag, which Corey did not go to the Mailbag.
Didn't you? Isn't that not from the mail? Didn't you say something came in the mail?
That's a different client, and he sent that here. Thank you. That is not Sugar Cookie Marketing at all.
Can't try to make a great escape. Let me let her go.
Okay,
She's
Phoebe.
scrambling to find the door.
This is going to be a good podcast because Phoebe's already leaving. So it's just nothing but quality content here on out. Bye, Phoebe. You got to kind of do the cat noise.
She's mewing at me. Come on.
She's thinking there's a scratchel involved. You got your hand way too close to the head. Phoebester, you're going to have to leave. We got to get back to the podcast, buddy. Okay, while Corey tries to incentivize isn't a word. I like the word, though. Where Corey tries to bribe Phoebe to leave. Phoebe doesn't want to, so maybe it won't be a great podcast. I would love to kind of jump into the marketing minutes of kind of recapping. Okay, there goes the cat. See, I got too technical right there, and then she was like, yeah, no, I don't want this. I'll just talk louder, Phoebe, if you don't leave. Okay, she's giving him a treat. I feel like I'm narrating a horse race. She's coming back around the corner and sitting back down in her chair. Corey Miracle wins the Kentucky Derby. Okay, I can't speak to marketing minutes. That was your segment.
Oh yeah, so me and Heather. Okay, we've taught cookie classes for a while now. So many so that a lot of times when people sign up for them again and they come in, we forget their faces.
Well, half of them was masked. So when somebody's like, "Don't you remember me?" I said, can you put a mask on? Let me see if I can get some recall there.
But we had a class this past week. We had a snowstorm.
It does not snow in March in Virginia.
No.
At least in Northern Virginia. We got the whole cement.
Friday, while I was baking my buns off.
Concrete jungle.
It was like, I want to say
70?
65.
People were whistling. People were whistling.
I even walked the dog and I said, it's really nice out. Cue. Less than 8 hours later, I wake up and it's a torrential downpour. And so my husband was working.
Torrential downpour?
In where I was living.
Oh, it was raining?
But a downpour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Nate went to work early and I said, how is it out there? And he was like, stop complaining. It's just raining. So then I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get in the car. So I was like, I'll go a little bit early, scout things out, because they did say that there could be a little bit of a snow burst in the news.
It was a big burst.
So I'm driving. I was like, yeah, it's only raining. It ain't so bad. Then Heather calls and she's like, how's the roads? And I said, stop complaining. It's only raining.
You get those emails from So I love to send an email chain out to participants letting them know the cancellation policy. It starts 7 days out from their class. I say, hey, you've missed the cancellation policy, but you can still get a class credit up until the day of class. And they get another reminder on Friday at 10:30 a.m. And then they get the morning reminder to show up. But after that, Friday is you
because
can't
I'm already done baked for you.
Right. So you can't cancel, nor can you get a class credit on the day of classes because there's no way we could fill a seat.
Yeah. So love lost.
Just come to class.
Come to what you signed up for. Okay, so I'm driving towards this. The location that we teach at is 40 minutes away. And I know a lot of people are like, 40 minutes. But where we live, that's not a lot. No. But some people, like my husband's from small town, Virginia, and like they're like, we can't go to Walmart, it's across town. And it's like an hour away, and they're like, no, 10 minutes. So you guys don't even have traffic here. So it's not that far. But if you think 40 minutes of driving, you are crossing a lot of turf.
Yeah.
So the rain turns a little bit to sleet. And I was like, yeah, this is fine. Hit 495. Let me say 495
is 5 to 6. And if you consider the toll road, it's about 8-lane interstate.
8 lanes across. And I'm driving. And I said, is the sleet I'm driving through? Or is it a little bit of snow? Okay. Then cars are turned towards me.
When you see a car facing you on an interstate where the average speed is about 85 miles an hour.
But it was kind of crazy. So I said, wow, why am I driving to this class?
So Corrie and I talked about it.
Well, people are calling me while I'm driving. And I said, I cannot answer the phone. Even though my nice new car will answer it and I can just talk into the space. I said, I'm not about to add stress to my stress.
So Corrie and I had initially in the morning, before Corrie made it to 495, we had offered people the alternative. If you didn't show, typically you forfeit everything. But we said if you want to come over the next day and pick up your class kit, you could, and there would be no penalty. You just pick up your kit. We'd give you the PowerPoint. Yeah, I was even thinking that we would record the class and send that to them as well. So they'd have a pre-recorded instruction.
So they almost could it would be like our virtual class that we'd offered. So we already had the boxes made. So we would just pop those boxes open, put all their little stuff in a little baggie, and they could do porch pickup the next day.
So I emailed that to everybody. Each class, in total, we were looking at about 22 attendees off of 2 classes. Yeah. So the room can fit 10. We usually get greedy and shove in an extra. Yes. So it'd be 11. And then both classes had 11. The second class was a private class.
Yeah.
So I sent out... probably had 4 or 5 people asking about, like, what about cancellation policy? So when I sent that out, I had one person immediately say, okay, that's great. I'll do that.
I know. So then I was like, yeah, sweet. Okay, now I'm on 495. And I said, I had
a couple people wrote back and said, I'm definitely coming though.
Yeah, which I'm like, I want to cancel. It's either all or nothing. Right. Like, let me eat the cookies I baked, sadly, on my own couch.
But we had people saying, like, I'm still coming. So we felt the requirement to teach the class, because this area is a little bit spread out, and it could have already set out.
I had 3 people call me, and one lady's like, "How are the roads?" And I said, "I'd be lying if I said they were good." So she said, "Let me see if I can talk my friend into it." I said, "Okay." Next lady called. She's like, "For sure, we want to do the second class, but it might just be me who shows."
That's a bummer, because we would. Out of 11, if one person showed,
that would just be a total loss. It would be a total loss. So what can you do? I said I didn't feel comfortable making people show up to.
Right. It would be crazy for us to have strong-armed people into driving in something that probably.
Last person that called, I'm like, hello, this is Corrie with Sugar Cookie Classes. Are you looking to cancel? And the guy's like, I just want to talk to you about your SiriusXM subscription. I said, bro, I wasn't even going to answer this phone call. I ain't got the time. He's like, are you sure you don't want to talk about it? I said, positive.
So in total, though, surprisingly, in the open class, not the private class, out of 11 signups, 10 people did show.
And one person
that was the earliest class. She opted to pick up the next day, so no refunds had to be given. Yeah. No class credits had to be given for the first
I could not believe that. And that was when the weather was the worst. Yeah. For the second class, it wasn't so bad.
In the second class, private class, I think there's some psychological dynamics between a private class. They didn't feel the necessity to show up. So only 4 out of 11 did.
Yeah. Okay, but I do want to talk, not necessarily about the total money loss that happened on Saturday, but it is what it is. I want to talk about personalities in class. If you are part of the Cookie College or you're considering it, Heather and I actually filmed one of our classes. We put you up in the corner and you are literally listening to all of our excellent puns the entire time and seeing an actual class going on. But with classes and with different people and different walks of life coming into one location, you have different personalities you're dealing with.
So different because the target audience is so broad.
It's broad. And while the majority, I would say probably 93% of our people that show up are female, you have a lot of personalities within those folks.
Yeah, our target audience is people looking to have a good time on a Saturday, people who are interested in learning cookies to sell. They're very intense.
No, we say geared towards beginners.
No, but this is what shows up, though.
I would say it's 50-50.
Well, I'm just giving you the kind of generals that way. Then we get couples just having like a couple day.
Fun. We had a couple that's there on Saturday.
Yeah, and they had a blast. And then you have repeat customers.
Yeah,
people that just like
who
the vibe.
Just enjoy it. And that was also there on Saturday. And then one random friend of mine.
And then sometimes we have parents entertaining kids.
Yeah, which I love kids in the class. I think they're fantastic. And
it's very
so well
But
behaved.
the class on average, probably the average age is between 35 and 40.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we'll have like 11-year-olds. Sometimes we had young as 6 years old.
I know. And they're always very great. So, but with that, you have a lot of different personalities. So the way that Heather starts our classes is a fantastic way. And she starts it, you got me and Heather's really bubbly, annoying personalities. Of course, we're talking a mile a minute.
At this high pitch rate.
But we try to gather attention. We start right on time. Heather will always look at her watch and be like, all right, we are actually starting 1 minute ahead of time. If anyone walks in after, Corrie will go and address it. That's the plus side of having two people kind of
There's no dead air because if somebody walks in, Corrie will walk back. If she's talking, I'll walk back.
Yeah. So then what Heather starts it off with is, okay, because you have a room full of strangers. So people are automatically a little put off and not chit-chatty, but we want everyone to leave as friends. So this is how we start off our classes. Hey, I am Corrie and I'm the baking twin. This is Heather. She's official taste tester. If you haven't heard that a million times. And we want to know 3 things from you. We want to know your name, where you rolled out of bed from, and your experience with decorating sugar cookies. The most important question that we're asking is, I could care less about your name. I want to know if you're going to be a challenge today or if we got to refer all of the hard questions to you.
Right. It's a joke and people love it. And so, I'll get a lot of people say, I only know how to eat them. Or somebody who's like, hey, I've actually been practicing for a while and I just want to, and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah. But what it does is everyone is attentive to everyone and it breaks down that weird, I don't know this person sitting across from me thing. And we kind of almost it like lets the air out of the room because we're all like on the same page. So everyone's giggling like, oh, I'm from Woodbridge. Oh, yeah. I'm from Woodbridge. Sorry if I honked at you in traffic.
Right. I have a lot of jokes. Now that I've like seen what lands is, and you can kind of make these jokes when people say
even when they don't land, you take them like
then I'm making a mental note. That's going to get dropped out of the next class.
Until note on Saturday. They were so focused. They weren't listening.
The massage, the icing bag, like a massage you wish your husband would give you never lands. We got to cut that one.
I don't know.
Sometimes it lands, but most of the time
and it keeps us going.
Right. Always know our checkpoints are
I said it different.
Jokes.
I said I said massage the bag like the massage you wish you always got, and I feel like that they could instead of
when you have to say like your significant other, everyone's like, well,
yeah, it's a long word.
It's crazy.
So in every class, and again on Saturday, there's always a personality in there that maybe doesn't jive with everyone else in the room.
Just a stronger personality.
Yeah, a stronger personality. And sometimes if you do not have a strong personality back to them, they can overtake your class and they can almost, I don't want to say the word ruin the experience, but they can take away from the experience of other people who also
hijack
pay.
the experience.
Yes. So we always probably have someone with a more pronounced personality in class. And the ways that me and Heather have found out to kind of keep it going and pleasant for everybody involved. What does it sound?
You're getting a roof put on?
Oh.
Sorry, the neighbors heard there was podcast day and decided to schedule a roof replacement.
When we sign the problem is when they sign up, Heather doesn't have a little thing that said, "Are you going to be a lot in class?"
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how many friends stick around over 2 years?
So you don't know who's going to show up to class until they are finally there. But it's up to you as the teacher to kind of take control of the class.
You have to be, as the instructor, the strongest person.
You have to, and people will try to match you. And sometimes I don't really have a super confrontational personality, and this isn't everything in cookie class is fun. So using the word confrontational is it, but I don't have like a I'm going to be bigger than you personality.
Right. I'm sure that if there's any elementary school teachers listening, they'd say, "Oh, well, this is what the book says to do about that." But One thing I like to do, I have a terrible memory, but we do a checklist, and I'll say, can I grab your name? And a lot of people will register for their friend or something.
Yeah.
So I'll write their names down.
Heather, I want to commend you, and I forgot to.
Go on.
Heather does a very good job. I tune out like everybody else, but she does a very good job of remembering specific people's names who are going to be a lot.
I read it on the paper. Did you see it?
Yes, and I never look at it. But if she knows someone's going to be a lot, she will remember their name. So let's just say it's Jan. Jan is going to be a lot.
It's always a Jan, man.
So Heather will remember Jan's name. So throughout the class, as Jan's getting carried away, she can say, hey, Jan, let me just help you real quick. Softly. Heather will talk to her softly so that Jan almost has to respond softer to hear what Heather is going to say. And what it does is it tunes Jan down so then I can take the class back over and we can continue forward. Mm-hmm. Of course, you need to get a twin.
Step one, clone yourself. That is a great option, though. Another thing is, especially when we have repeat clients, if they were a lot the first time, we put them farther back in class, because when the loudest personality is closest to the teachers, they kind of say this is a one-on-one class despite everybody else sitting around. So if you understand that maybe you can see how many people ask too many questions before they even show up there, that might indicate that somebody has a bit of a stronger, hey, if I'm going to get my answer regardless, so put them farther away from the instructor.
Another tip, if you notice that a lot of times we have a lot of singles come to class, and then occasionally we'll have doubles and even triples show up, especially during the Christmas time rush. They're having family and friends in town, they want to do something fun. If we see that there's doubles coming to class, we'll move them farther back in the room. And the reason why is because a lot of times they'll have their own conversation, they'll start giggling and everything like that, which is totally fine. We want you to have a blast, but you can't be in the front giggling loud because I can't talk over it.
That's the biggest thing, is these sultry voices that are gracing your ears right now. I cannot talk over anybody. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I find that really resets the room is, can I have everybody's eyes towards the PowerPoint slide? So Corrie and I have a PowerPoint slide that walks people through cookies. Instead of letting people just go to town, what I say is, hey, can I get everybody's eyes real quick? Because this is going to be a little bit of a two-stepper.
Yeah. And when she says, is this, okay, most complicated cookie of the class, you can be like, don't say complicated, they'll get worried. No, we want them to be worried.
They'll quiet down because they want, everyone wants to succeed here. Something that we do struggle with is when we're about half to two-thirds away the class and a loud personality is not performing the way that they intended, they'll get very loud to kind of discount. They want to soothe themselves.
They want someone to be bad with them.
Yeah,
because who wants to be the worst person at the party?
Right.
A strategy that we do have is we do always incorporate a piping practice sheet. Mostly it does eat up a lot of time, but what I want them to do is I want to go around the room and help them with the issues before we get to the cookies.
It's a great part of the piping practice sheet. We actually don't let them do the whole sheet.
We don't. They have to listen.
They have to listen.
And then this is what Heather says, and it's 100% work. She's like, all right, we're going to do the piping practice sheet. We are not doing everything on the sheet. If you go off and you try to do the entire sheet, you will not have enough icing to complete the set today.
Right.
And so everyone's like,
what I can do is I can see people who do continue on regardless of what I say, and I make a note like, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. They do not want to listen. Another thing about the piping practice sheet is we say, decorate from the outside in. So you do these outside lines and work your way to the center. Yeah. When I see people refuse to do that and they work from left to right, a mental note that, hey, they do not follow instruction well.
They do. So what I'll do during the piping practice sheet, everyone's very quiet. That is the time that we'll give them 3 assignments to do. So please please trace the first 3 lines. And that is when I'll go around the class and I'll fix the issues before we even get to the cookies. Hey, I see that your line is breaking.
Can I help you real quick? Can I show you something real quick? Can I help you real quick?
Because sometimes they're like, no, I'm fine with my choppy line. Okay, all right. I want them to, when people have a good cookie set that leaves the door, they're going to have a better experience and recommend me more because they're impressed with what they did. So if we can learn a lot in the piping practice sheet, when it comes to their cookies, they're not going to get as frustrated and they're going to have a better experience. So I really spend the time with the piping practice sheet going and be like, hey, I just want to show you how you can fix this issue. When we do this on cookies, this is what you're going to look for. And I only have to go around the first part of class. Mm-hmm. So around I go on the piping practice sheet and then maybe the first 2 cookies, and then everyone kind of gets the flow of things.
Mm-hmm. The flow of the icing.
The flow of the flow.
So I would say, if you're thinking about cookie classes, definitely do. They're a blast. If you have a more quiet personality, possibly find a partner, yes, it's going to eat into your profits because you're now. But if you found someone at an hourly rate, that would be.
I'm dropping you down there.
I'm dropping you down. You're commission based only. And then I would say create a diagram of what your room setup is. And when people walk in, write down their names over their seats so that you know that, hey, Tracy's sitting here on my left and Loud Jan is there in the back corner.
This is something we incorporated this week because we did notice that it created a weird vibe.
Yes, I know exactly what you're about to say. Name tag.
Okay, when we let people come in at the room, we're actually decorating on this giant kitchen island. It's in a kitchen showroom. So this island is probably, how many feet across? Is it like 10 by 6?
It's huge.
Yeah, it's ginormous. So there's about 15 people who could get around it. 12
uncomfortably.
people comfortably. So when people would come in, we'd be like, all right, go ahead and find a seat. For some odd reason, telling them to go find a seat was like paralyzing for them.
And it allows a person who's showing up as one to sit between, whenever you go to a restaurant, you don't want to go all the way back.
Yeah.
You don't want to be all the way
So
in the
you
front.
have a group of 2, a space, and then a group of 3. And then this person will be by themselves because group 2 is giggling together, group 3 is giggling together. So this time we actually did name tags. While some people sign up for other people, so Heather just put that group together. So it said Mary Beth and Mary Beth. So party of 2.
The Mary Beths are like, obviously they had different names, but she had just purchased 2 tickets. But we were able to manage groups. And we don't, a lot of times when you have 3 people showing up, that's a lot of their own time to manage. They have to make sure all 3 people show up on time, so they're typically late.
Yeah.
When they walk in, they see 3 random chairs nowhere near each other. It's not the end of the world, but they have that paralyzing pause where I'm getting separated from the person I wanted to do.
When me and Heather took a cookie class, this was before I even really honestly started in cookies, we took a cookie class together and there was no seat for me and her together. So we sat across. So for some reason we had to share icing in this class. So Heather shared with a random person, I shared with a random person.
Which the camaraderie is there, but it still creates...
If me and Heather would have been able to giggle together...
I would have had a better experience.
So
it would have been the nightmare of personalities.
Yeah, I know. We would need to be placed in the back of the class. No, we were very respectful. But just having those game plans and learning from people who've been there before is going to help your first class, which hopefully it's your Easter class. Excellent. Go on without a hitch. In the cookie college,
go off.
Go off
without a hitch.
Go on, but we want it to be on
with a hitch.
We want you.
Then there's a problem, but it's on.
Let me just tell you, not this class, but the class before this class, Heather. Each time we use my laptop, and I bring my son's TV, and it's annoying to bring because it's 32 inches.
Put the PowerPoint on the TV.
Yeah, we put the PowerPoint on the TV, and we use my laptop because Heather has a desktop. Heather sent me the file. I'm like, yeah, Heather's very capable. I will leave this one.
You know what? You know when you upload something and it's like, what may take 3 minutes, and you're like, I only have 2. It did not upload.
There was no file to be found.
And it happened to be a class that we had actually taught virtually. So typically I can go, because Corrie never deletes her emails, I could find it last year's and just change a couple things around.
We were in Heather's office, so she never had to send it. And most of the time, I bake an extra set of cookies for if someone drops it. Heather said, "Nah, we never break them. We always have one little set left over."
Yeah, it was a nightmare. Anyways, I told my poor boyfriend, would you mind driving that 40 minutes back and sending me this PowerPoint? I know exactly where it is on my computer.
So it was Heather, but Heather in those 40 minutes was stitching together. I don't even know what you were doing. Stitching together a makeshift PowerPoint.
I said okay, you got to do your worst case analysis and say if this is what I got to do here, because I can't travel back in time and resend it.
I know,
so there's
but
no point.
It's going to be on there.
I was taking an old PowerPoint that I knew for the first 30 minutes of class we actually have just conversation.
Yeah.
So I knew if I could buy boyfriend an extra 30 minutes.
I never delete anything.
Yeah,
I had all cookie photos. She was pulling cookie photos.
Yeah, I think I said I could buy ourselves 30 minutes at the beginning of class so we don't look so crazy. Then here's my second thing. If Don never made it back home, grab one. Corrie was going to go around the room and decorate one cookie from each person's set as the example. Yes, it wouldn't have been ideal. Trust me.
But then we did have someone who purchased a take-home kit. So plan B was we were going to bust open that take-home kit.
Give them a refund and a free kit.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, it all worked out.
Yes, it all worked out.
But I do like saying okay, I can't travel back in time, so why am I going to stress about it? What can we do instead of spending the time stressing over a mistake that can't be unmade? Can we do it? I'm going to give them another tip.
I'm going to give them another tip.
Oh, sweet.
Do you want to
go
go
the
first?
same tips? Yeah.
Wait, what's your?
Standing up.
Okay, my tip is different. My tip is we use a PowerPoint.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was my tip. Don't decorate.
What?
Walk around and point.
Yeah.
People disagree with this one, and it is up to you.
It's up to you.
We don't decorate a set.
Took a class, and when the cookie decorator was decorating, there was this odd sense of silence. Do you know how long it takes to flood a 4-inch cookie? Uncomfortably long. So if you have 6 cookies you're decorating, it was a lot of silence, a lot of downtime. So we want the room to constantly be on this upbeat, upturn, fun.
If it's quiet, it's because they're quiet, not because
we're quiet. So there's no downtime. No one making eyes at each other like, didn't think this was what I was expecting to do. So we actually use a PowerPoint. And in the college, you actually get the PowerPoint that we use for free, plus our class script with all the puns.
They're great.
They're exciting. And what it allows us to do is we actually decorate the kit. We actually decorate the cookies at Heather's house. Each step, Heather takes a photo of it. I'm decorating it. So Heather takes a step and then she puts it in the PowerPoint and she says, okay, this is what your naked cookie looks like. And here's where we're going to.
Here's your steps. And I'm going to narrate them to you. We're going to hold your hand through this. And then when I say go, Corrie starts walking around class. So there is no dead time. And while they're decorating, Corrie's walking. I actually walk them through it verbally again with some obnoxious tips I've said about 500 times at this point.
What they are constantly getting is value. There's no downtime. I'm constantly helping. Hey, do you need help there? Hey, I see some icing coming off the side there. Do you want me to show you how to fix it? Hey, you just messed up. We have 30 seconds before it crushed over. You want me to come and help you? So everyone actually leaves with very good looking cookies, which is a positive experience, which leads us to get repeat business.
Now, if you wanted to decorate the set, something Corrie and I invested in, I actually saw it at CookieCon when we taught last year. They have this overhead camera that's meant for teaching classes.
Yeah.
Like instructional in a school. But you could broadcast it over, and then your partner, whoever's your hired help or whatever you would call that 50-50 twin
or something.
I could narrate while Corrie is doing that. But here's the effect when you don't do that. Whenever you're on your phone, whenever somebody's sitting across from you and they're on their phone, they completely check out of the conversation. It 100%. Kills the vibe.
Oh, yeah.
So you're, like if you're out to dinner with your boyfriend or girlfriend and they're on their phone, you're like, it's like because you're decorating cookies, you also do the same thing. It's hard for you guys to narrate.
Yeah, if someone asked me a question while I was decorating cookie, I'd be like, you're
going to have to stop decorating. So if you really wanted to decorate in front of somebody, I'd recommend the 2-partner approach and that overhead camera, which would allow you to pipe it into either a computer or a TV.
And in this COVID conscious world, it's a lot easier for everyone to look at a TV screen that's bigger than try to hover over you and potentially, get sick.
Yeah. So those are some tips that we've learned. Corrie never sits down in class. She's actually always standing. My little knees hurt sometimes, so I sit.
I know. I like to walk around people, and then I like to make jokes with them, and people like to ask quieter questions when I'm coming around, so they're not taking over the class with their questions.
So 100% piping practice sheet. Definitely recommend
1,000%.
Definitely recommend a PowerPoint. I can't begin to describe to you how much easier it will make that whole terrifying experience.
Yeah.
Really liking name tags.
We do have a little section where we talk about utensils. And then we actually have this whole section talking about a good attitude.
Because what I say is it's so funny. Corrie and I have actually talked about this. When we cite bad attitude traits, it stops people in that room from recreating it. So we'll say we had a class a while ago and the person who was so frustrated, who had the worst time, was actually the person who didn't give themselves any forgiveness. They came in wanting to be good. They wanted it too hard. Right. And then we'll say something like, something we see that is always a guaranteed mistake is people who decorate left to right. I get why you do it. We read that way. It makes a ton of sense. But if you follow the instruction, you're going to have a better time. And then it'll stop that behavior ahead of time.
Yeah. Sometimes people just want it too much and they will have a bad attitude. So on Saturday,
go to mitigation efforts.
Yeah. On Saturday specifically, some lady really wanted to be good.
Nobody else did. Everybody else took care.
She said it. I want to be great. She wanted to be good, and she was having a hard time being good. Just kidding. She was having a hard time because what my cookies look like, hers were not turning out to be. But she wasn't also listening to the instruction either. So what Heather ended up saying, hey, this is why you got a take-home kit. And what it did was help us upsell to everybody else. You bought a take-home kit, and this is your practice round. That is we're going to town round.
I always like to reward the people. The take-home kit's an additional $35. I wouldn't buy one, but but hey, we have it as an option.
It's only 6 cookies.
It's the identical class set duplicated. Yeah. So really, it's like half price ticket.
But you teach yourself.
Right. I give you the PowerPoint and you've already taken it with us. Yeah. So now you can do it on your. But I like to make sure that those people feel singled out and special. So I'll be like, hey guys, here's a slide on how to reincorporate icing. Who are my kit people? Yeah. Hey, you two right there. This is actually going to be for you because you guys did get those take-home kits. So you'll be able to recreate this at home.
It's an easy way to make extra money. And plus, if you were a real G, bring an extra kit because sometimes people don't read when they're going through your checkout process. So be like, hey, I actually did bring one extra take-home kit. If anyone wants to claim it, $35, let me know. If you can't hustle your wares, then you will have a kit. But if you forgot the PowerPoint, you'll have something to break open.
So yeah, Corrie and I have learned to create an extra set, even if we're feeling lazy.
A big thing. I know I thought we were just going to talk about personalities, but now we're giving you all of our tips. The only way that me and Heather can really truly make money since we're doing this together, and she loves to steal my money, is we have to teach more than one class in a day. Because the more classes we teach, the more money we make. But Heather, for some odd reason, only gives us 30 minutes to get everyone
be there for
out
the rest of my life.
To get everyone out and to get everything reset. That is a lot.
Here's the thing:
work.
Nobody wants to leave class. That's the biggest thing.
They become besties with us, which is fantastic.
I hate this, but when like the look of devastation must be on my face when someone's like, "Let me grab my phone and show you a picture." Like, oh my goodness.
But what we have done is at the beginning of class, we'll be like, hey, everybody. And even if you do not have another class, time is money. The longer you stand. The longer you are standing in life, the less money and more joint pain you will make. But you need to get everyone out of that building in a due time because they are eating your profits.
Right. So what I like to do, and it doesn't work every time, especially with the stronger personalities, you can't get them to leave. I say,
we've started cleaning up around.
So Corrie will literally be taking the trays.
I'm like, you done with that?
But I like to say this, like, hey guys, I am so sorry to do this to you. We have a bunch of yous excited to enter in about 15 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you guys to leave. I'm so sorry to kick you out, but please drive safely. If you have any questions, you know where to bug us.
Yeah. So Heather starts the class also off with that same line. And she says, hey guys, we have to start right on time because right after this class is another class.
Setting expectations. The louder people, I haven't really figured out how to get them to go.
They almost migrate towards the front of the room together. One time Heather physically turned off the lights.
It was just wild. I'm like, I gotta go live my life.
But those are tips to just some tips for decorating if you're trying to put on a class and you are dealing with those personalities. Heather and I don't necessarily love public speaking. What we do love is money, and that is how we justify
public speak.
Getting ourselves up in front there. If you were considering teaching a class, you could always join the Cookie College for a month, grab all the goodies, and then leave.
Peace out.
Peace out. Then you would have our class PowerPoint, and Heather tells you how to take our photos out and put your photos in and edit the words you could stick to our words if you wanted to.
You just actually go looking for our cookie cutters.
You could recreate the class 100%. You also get the script that we use. When Heather and I first started classes, we wrote this script. It's how we do any of our public speaking. We'll spend a day writing a script, and then we'll spend one day practicing it. For the first few classes, we had the script in our hand. Now we've taught so many that we have it memorized, but you get that script. And it tells you how to keep the class flowing because you do have a certain set amount of time. If it's an hour and a half, you have to get all that stuff covered, and you have to get them out with a fully decorated set. Anytime after that hour and a half, you're now losing money. So
we actually do 2 dummy slides at the end. We never get to them, but I like to have them there in case the class finishes early, so it feels like the class got to its accomplished goal.
What we learned the hard way is we'll throw in an extra cookie.
We used to think, like, what if this isn't complicated enough?
Or the class finishes fast.
They never do. If anything, it finishes late. So we stick to only 6 cookies, 7 in the rare event. That perhaps, there might be too.
Yeah, but we used to give them an extra cookie, but it would throw the class so much because letting them decide what decorations need to go on something is
you see in the second class,
insane.
I didn't give them that option? I said follow the curriculum?
Yeah, absolutely. So we really kind of want them to follow what we're doing because it keeps the class moving. If you're like, decorate your flower any way you want to, you're going to lose some people and they're going to start lagging behind. And what you don't want to do is be teaching the class twice in the same class.
Great point. If someone goes off script, you got to leave them behind. You can't wait for the person who's trying to take creative license. You got to say like, cool. And they'll be like, can I take the PowerPoint slide back? And I'll be like, good, look at it. I got to go back because the majority of the class is moved
What
on.
Heather will also do, if someone falls behind, she'll be like, oh, Judy, Jessica right next to you, look at hers because she'll show you exactly how it needs to be done.
Buddy Bam. Another thing I love is having I don't necessarily like to have my phone in my hands. I feel like people think I'm checking Facebook, which I am. But I like to have a watch on, and I do, hey, this is a 15-minute warning. In about 15 minutes, we need to wrap this up. You guys are ahead of schedule or you guys are a bit behind schedule, so we'll need to move this a little faster.
Also, towards the end of class, I'll start getting the boxes ready, and that's Heather's
the clue
cue
sign of closure
to get the camera ready. What we want to do is we only want to take pictures of people with their cookies in boxes. And what that does is it gives us a lot of better marketing material, but also gets them ready to leave the class. So, hey, if your cookies are in the box, we'll come around and take your photo
of your group. And they want a photo. It's taken on a nicer camera. 2, it drives them to our Facebook page. It's the only way they can get to them. And 3, it's like, okay,
it gets them ready to go. So these are just strategies that we have found that work, and we have learned a lot over the years. And these things are tried and true, and now they're so second nature to us that if you want to join the college, we break it down for you. Wet on wet. Wet on wet is going to save your bun. Sprinkles will cause you to have to vacuum.
At the end of class, we'll make a quick like, hey, I wish we didn't have the sprinkles in the slide. And Corey will be like, I agree. So then we'll probably drop it out in the next.
Or we say like, I learned from last time. I'm like, okay, you have your condiment cup of sprinkles. Heather likes to call it Jello shots.
Depends on what your knife
What
life
you're
is
going to do is hold your cookie very carefully over your condiment cup and sprinkle sprinkles on there, making sure that any excess ones fall back in there so you can take them home.
Yeah.
Then, can I say this?
Yeah.
We found this out. I'm not one to reuse someone's icing because 1, gross. But 2, that's a lot of icing wasted. So if I didn't clock it out with piping practice sheets, people kind of go rogue. But one time when me and Heather were taking a class, we were listening to everyone else in the class, and one lady said, I do not like this. I feel like I'm going to run out of icing. And that stuck with me.
She said, I want my own icing bag. She was very upset.
So now I make sure everyone has just a little bit extra icing that they need. One, if their bag pops, if they're heavy-handed, if they love their icing to run off the side. I'm never having to worry like, oh, do you need another icing bag? No, you get the 4. That's all you get.
I've never seen anyone run it, except for that one kid who piped it straight into her mouth for about an hour. That's the only person who's run out.
But what do you do? Instead of wasting the icing, I give everyone a Ziploc bag so they can take their icing home with them. They're cleaning for us. So instead of the trash bag weighing like a bazillion pounds, they always take them with them. It's rare that people don't take the icing with them. And like in last class, someone's like, do you want to take my icings to a random person? The person, yeah, I'll give them to my kids.
Yeah, and they really do like it. And it's that freebie, like, oh, I feel like I got so much value. Look at how heavy my box feels, my to-go box.
Yeah, so my friend yesterday went home and she made her own.
Okay.
Yeah, using that icing.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good. So I gotta say those classes are really interesting, and it takes some practice of getting out there and trying. Corrie and I had made tons of mistakes at the beginning, and we just keep adjusting and tweaking.
But I think we've gotten it down to the science. You'll always have a personality out there that's going to maybe throw you for a loop. But if you can, have a game plan going into it, you can really overcome it and really make that class very smooth. So all that to say, sign up for the Cook College, get my stuff.
Pro tip. Add a disclaimer.
More pro tips?
Yeah, add a disclaimer if only 3 people show up that you're going to cancel the class and refund them.
1,000%.
A lot of people feel guilty if you didn't have that, but when I took that class that Corey was referencing earlier, they said if there's lesson 4, we will refund your ticket and cancel the class.
Which we thought was, you cannot make a loss on this.
That's 2 people trying to teach 3 people in a class. That'd be weird.
And in the college, we give you the script on how to cancel classes. But hopefully we can help you enough that you don't have to cancel a class.
But there's just times, like we thought we would squeeze a class on July 3rd.
Why did we do that?
Because we thought people would want to decorate like
No, they were barbecuing somewhere.
They were not in class. So we canceled that one. And we just refunded the people. Or I gave them the option, can I roll you into the next class? And
they did do that, yeah. They did do that.
A lot of people, all 3 of them. It wasn't a lot of people. That was a problem.
But also the way that we have filled classes since day one is Facebook ads. Now we don't have to do it so much because we're
marketing.
a little bit more well-known and we have email marketing, but we also teach you how to do Facebook ads and create events and do that in the college as well. Teaching classes is a moneymaker. You do not have to be a professional. I started teaching classes right after I started decorating cookies.
I don't decorate cookies and I teach classes.
So you don't have to know everything to teach them. You just have to know a little bit more.
What do people want there? What do they want in class?
A good time.
They want a good time. If you can't provide a good time, you didn't deliver. They didn't ask you to be winning Cookie Con's mystery shape. They want to know that you know just a little bit more than I know.
Yeah. So if you would, we'd love to have you in the Cookie College and we'd love to break that down for you. But me and Heather, for a limited time only, you can still find that live that Heather and I talk about.
Cookie classes. It's poorly filmed. I didn't redo it.
I liked it. It was poorly filmed.
It was
we were not on script. We kept doing what we just didn't know. I have a tip. No, I have a tip.
We have tips.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay, my business of baking, the buzzword that'll put you to sleep, but it's actually very valuable. Forgive the roof replacement. If you listen to the audio of this podcast, you could probably learn how to replace a roof as well. It's called SWOT analysis, and it's a business marketing term where it's an acronym. You look at your strengths, you analyze your weaknesses, you assess opportunities, and then you examine threats. Kind of like that. It sounds cool, so most people kind of listen to it. But when you conduct a SWOT analysis on your business, you get ahead of problems before they become problems. It's an analysis. If the problem's already there, you're not analyzing it. You're trying to find a solution. So if I were to say, okay, let's say you have a cookie business, Corrie, you're in Northern Virginia. What are your biggest strengths? Do you think it's your photography?
Yeah.
That's okay, great.
Only strength.
Can you?
I can't really decorate.
Is that is that this thing that you can sharpen up even more to make the gap between you and the closest competitor wider?
Yes.
So lean into your strengths. Okay, so I know that photography is my best. What can I do to keep adding to that to make it difficult for the competitor? Which just sounds malicious, but hey, we are in business. It's just business.
And I'm not tripping them in the bacon aisle.
Right.
I only can focus on my stuff.
Sugar. But how can I strengthen my strengths? Say that my leading edge right here. What can I do to make it even sharper?
Invest in a backdrop. If I know they're taking pictures on a kitchen table.
And a big thing Corrie did is she was taking macro photography without a macro lens.
Yeah.
So she had asked for her birthday for my mom to get her a macro lens for a Canon that she had, and it allowed her to open a lot more up in terms of photography. But it's easy to say, well, I'm already good at photography. Why would I keep trying to be gooder? It's because
everyone else is getting good too.
Yeah, you got to keep leveling up. You see the stagnancy of some companies. You're like, Panera used to be my vibe.
Dude, Panera's still my vibe.
I know. It's still good. But you remember when Panera was like an Italian man came out of the kitchen singing Mamma Mia. Yeah. But now you're like, oh, this is streamlined. It's very efficient, but my mac and cheese came out of a bag. And then you can kind of see the stagnancy where you had such a strength. Who was I thinking about that really had a strength and then kind of let it die down? It was a big business that closed.
Just so you know.
Huh? Well, it's going to blend in right with the roofers.
What was the line of work that they were in?
It was a big brand that kind of sat by. Oh, you know what? Is Kodak. Kodak had a huge lock on photography. They were the film camera to buy. But as companies started coming out with digital, they said, no, we're going to stick with film. That's what people want. Yeah. Turns out, no, people didn't want it. And their strength became their weakness. They didn't provide that SWOT analysis. So then we have our strengths. What are our weaknesses? What is your weakness?
No, my weaknesses are being good at writing things down.
Organization. So Corrie could say, I'm going to dog on you a little bit. Corrie forgot. No! I'm looking at my grandmother comes in. She's like frantic, like, Corrie's cookie lady's outside. And I was like, oh, that's crazy because Corrie's not here. So I called Corrie and said, there's a cookie lady outside. What? I thought she was supposed to come at 1. I was like, well, it's 12. So I'm assuming that you
my mind saw the 12. And I said,
drop the 2.
She's coming between 1 and 2.
So I said, Corrie, well, that cost you a lot in gas. You were probably stressed the entire drive, having to call her.
Flying. There was a blueberry fly in the Renova.
And then you have the client who was gracious and everything. It was really nice. They ended up sitting on TikTok in the car for 20 minutes.
What is great is I do include a thank you cookie in my thing. So I said, well, this thank you cookie turned into, well, you forgot me.
So had Corrie been more organized, that weakness that her business currently has. So what do you do when you assess a weakness? Do you acknowledge it and you say, do I want to fix it? And I made Corrie download an app to track her pickup dates, and it sends her a reminder she has in her phone.
Last Thursday. Bake.
Please. So that is one of those ways to be really organized. Now, when we go to opportunities, what are you not doing? It's not a weakness. It's not something you're
Reels, man. Reels. So I'm not doing them.
Now Corey's taking the opportunity to assess the digital marketing side of things. That can be offering cookie classes that you're not currently offering.
True.
Or capitalizing on free reach. Zuckerberg said, we're going to make Reels rival TikTok. It is the time to be making Reels, cookie decorating videos, things like that. So that would be an opportunity where she can move into a space that her business doesn't currently exist. It's not a weakness because she's not there yet. And then now threats. Who's moving in on your territory? Who's edging in?
The thing is, I'm friends with all my competitors.
Smart.
So
that's right. Just kidding.
No, you're right. There's always people coming into
I'll say a big
area.
threat for a lot of everybody. What everyone assesses is crumble cookies.
That's
they
why
have
I'm gonna have
great
to change
branding. Yeah, Corey's threat is that a lot of people are getting them confused in a good way or bad way.
One lady from this Buy Nothing, Sell Nothing group said, "Where is your location?" And I said, "Right here."
Where you're picking up something.
So I'm going to have to rebrand because I know that I do not have as deep pockets as the Crumble franchise. So I'm going to have to. What are we on? T of SWOT.
I hit the last one.
Threat. I'm going to be threatened by Crumble, and I'm going to rebrand, which is great. I think rebranding is awesome. I do love my logo, so but I'm ready for something new.
I like it.
Heather made my logos. I just said crying cookie because it has a bite thing.
And I'll say that your branding is a little fragmented. So the threat is that somebody with better branding, which they can come in and swoop in. So
I feel like the crumb cookies with a crying cookie is my personality. I'm not no whisk taker. I'm not like fancy.
Yeah, so we'll rebrand around your strategy. It doesn't have to be some over the top thing. But
I know. I want to be fancy. Like people on Instagram have fancy stuff. My husband's calling me.
Leaving that one already. Okay, so that's my business baking strategy. If you wanted a template to kind of do a SWOT analysis, you can find those online. But basically the strategy is look at your strengths and how can you strengthen them, assess your weaknesses and how can you firm those up.
We should do that in the college. I think that would
be
fun.
Going to. I'm working on it.
I wasn't saying tomorrow.
I have time. And then kind of assess it that way. Okay, so back to the cookie college. What Corey's referencing is this paid membership. It's $68 a month.
Extra.
$68 a month. It's an extra $68.
You get an extra group.
Yeah, there's a private group around it. I did talk about it in a Facebook Live on Thursday past. We kind of did a Facebook audit. It was really fun.
Yeah, I know. I liked that.
And then
I hated that you kept bringing mine up, but whatever.
I needed a barometer. We don't do well on sugar cookie marketing stuff, so I had to bring up something else.
Whoa.
It's spotty at best. SWOT analysis, that one. So we just kind of went through people's pages and said, hey, this is good. Here's what I'd recommend, kind of stuff like that. Kind of a SWOT analysis, really.
Yeah.
But talking about the Cookie College, it is a paid membership, $68 a month. But for the month of March, even for current members who are on the monthly plan, you can upgrade to yearly and get 3 months free. That means instead of paying for 12 months, you pay for 9 months. We've had over 10 to 15 people do it.
Wow.
They're actually current members, which I didn't expect.
Wow.
They just liked us enough that
you know
they
what
wanted
that
to keep
says?
doing.
That they're finding value in there.
Yeah.
And while I'm not one to toot my own horn,
so that's kind of what we're going for. SWOT analysis. How can we, and Ashley Lynn, she's in the Cookie College. She was going through the courses on Google Drive organization and, Chrome bookmarks organization. And some of these are about business organization and efficiently working. And she said, my life's been changed every 5 minutes. She said, my laptop battery finally died and it was midnight, so I had to go to bed. So I really like hearing that. You're going to hear some feedback from people on the
they called
voicemails.
in. That was crazy.
Yeah, well, we didn't pay them, but they
we got some good folks in the college, man.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun people. Okay, going to voicemails. I'm going to actually pull these up and let them play.
Hi, ladies. This is Ginger Quick with Cottage Cookies from San Antonio, Texas. I was just calling to let you know how much I enjoy the podcast. I am starting back at the beginning, listening to all of them in order, trying to gather all the information I didn't catch the first time. And I am cracking up because the very first podcasts are so carefully timed. Oh, no, we've only got a minute and a half. Oh, no, we've got 2 minutes over. Now it's just kind of anything goes, which is making me laugh. So I'm cracking up when I'm listening to the old ones, and I'm going to have to go back and listen to them again because I'm so busy laughing and giggling, I'm missing more content. Anyway, I also wanted to let you know that I just got back from CookieCon, which was my very first one, and it was an amazing experience. But I have to tell you, and anybody listening, and no, I'm not getting my tuition paid for the Cookie College, but if you're not a member of the Cookie College and it is within your budget to do it, I highly recommend it because while at CookieCon, they have all these fantastic classes and these amazing breakout sessions you can go to learn about different things. But they also have this thing where you decorate this mystery-shaped cookie. They have a decorating room where they have all the icing and tools and toys and everything that you could possibly need to decorate them. And they give you this cookie in this weird shape, and they don't tell you what it's supposed to be. You just have to be creative and let your imagination flow, which mine was clogged and I did not do so well. But I was desperate to try and get this cookie done in 20 minutes so I could rush off to this breakout session. And it dawned on me that, oh, wait, I don't have to. We had a live session about that in the group. And then there was another one about your business. And I thought, oh, I should go to that. And I thought, well, no, I have time to stay here because I learned about that in the group. And that's not to take away from all the hard work and all the great information that I'm sure I missed at those sessions. But when you can't do everything and you have to prioritize, I was able to just sit and relax and enjoy decorating my cookie and not have to rush off to those classes because I knew I already had some of that information available at my fingertips. And that if I didn't already have it, I knew I could also call and suggest it. And somebody fabulous in the group would be able to give a live on it. And I would get the same information. So if you can do the Cookie College, if you can afford it in your budget, by all means do it. If not, pull from all the fabulous people that are in the regular group or the baking group and use them as your resources. I mean, everyone knows the Martins are just giving away gold. I still don't understand why they give away so much. They are just amazing. And there's so many other people in here that have so much to share. And you could be one of those people too. I could be one of those people too that one day gives a live or gives that little tidbit of information that helps somebody out of a jam. So all of that is the long-winded way of saying thank you so much for creating the group, creating the podcast, creating the college. It was a moment of brilliance that has turned into something fabulous. And thank you so much. We appreciate it.
That is so nice. That is Ginger Quick. She is in the Cookie College. Has been a while. She's actually one of the members who decided to deal with us for a year. So she's upgraded hers.
That's so kind of you to take the time.
I really wish we went to CookieCon. We didn't have the schedule wasn't right for Corrie and her kiddo.
What can I do?
Plus, also was really far away.
What can I do?
Hey, did they announce where it's supposed to be?
No, they said they weren't going to. They haven't nailed down the place.
Oh man, what if it was like in DC or something?
That's what they said. Bring it back to the coast.
Bring it back to the East Coast. It's like a battle between the coasts.
Yeah, that's what they said. So I said, how about Middle America? Put it there.
Didn't they? Oh, they did in Texas last year.
They did.
Yeah,
but that was Southern
Texas. Yeah, where could you go in the middle?
I don't know. There's places like. I don't know.
Courtney can weigh into Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska. But yeah, that'd be cool if it was in the middle.
I thought she was Oklahoma.
Oh, it's like that central lineup.
Yeah.
Nebraska looks like a breast.
There's
the only thing I know.
Flying over it. There's the middle
flyover states. That's
flyover states.
Oh yeah. So Ginger. Well, actually, yeah. If anybody's in a flyover state, start bugging CookieCon to say do a middle place.
DC people.
I need the DC people to come in class.
We have a great cookier community here. I think we could get.
We also have a lot of conventions.
We also have a lot of convention centers.
yeah, that'd be cool.
But we also have a lot of traffic.
And it's kind of expensive here. But we have airports. Reagan National. We got another one, Corrie. So thank you so much, Ginger. Glad you had a fun time at CookieCon. And I'm glad that the Cookie College has worked for you. Again, the Cookie College has a lot of information. If you're more curious as to what that information is, join one of those Thursday lives I do in the main group. Try to do them every other week. Kind of talks to you about how we teach the classes. I teach them like I teach a class.
Yeah.
And then we talk a little bit more about the Cookie College.
Yeah. I love bugging Heather in the comments.
Yeah, you're always there now. I wish you were banned again.
No, I make my baking around those lives.
I think I talk way too fast. Here is another voicemail. It's going to be about CRMs, and I liked the question.
Hi, this is Brianna Camel. I own Camel Confections in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So I am working my way through the podcast slowly, and I just recently listened to the episode where you guys talk about not having all your eggs in one basket for marketing. If Facebook shut down tomorrow, would you still be able to reach your clients? That fun stuff. And y'all mentioned email marketing, of course, and y'all also mentioned a sort of program that would basically keep track of your clients' information for what they might have ordered, / if it was a birthday, when that birthday was, who it was for, etc. And then you could reach out to them around that time of year and be like, hey, last year you ordered a dozen cookies for your daughter's birthday, whatever. I think that's a really great idea. And I actually get emails like that from children's places for my kids, saying, oh, it's Maria's birthday this month. You should have a party here. And it is effective because it's always tempting. So I was wondering, if you wanted to implement something like that, what kind of copy would you use? How would you word it so that you're not coming across as creepy for remembering all that, but also not too pushy, although you have to be a little pushy because we are selling stuff. But, so yes, I hope you can answer this question, and I will hopefully hear it in the podcast soon. Thank you both.
Okay, great question. What she's talking about is a CRM, a customer relationship management program, but she's asking a different question. I know we've talked about CRM programs in the past and how effective they are, and we are often receiving emails as a result of a dialed-in CRM program. Yeah. It's the same way that IHOP sends me a free stack of pancakes every time it's about 10 days before my birthday. Yeah. And what it says is, Heather, we know it's your birthday because you told us it was your birthday.
1 year, Heather and I made a fake email address.
I still have it. HBD Heather. Happy birthday, Heather.
And we said, how many free things can we partake in?
And we could essentially, you're talking about desserts, appetizers, a stack of pancakes. You could have a blast the week before your birthday.
But you had to do it. Some of them had stipulations,
buy an entree, get a free dessert. But at the end of the day, it was a great idea.
It was a great week, birth week.
Yeah. So what's happening is when you submit these forms for somebody hey, you want to join a rewards program, is you're giving them identifiable information. Identifiable information that they can come and remarket to you through emails. So how do you do that without sounding intrusive is what the question is.
One, I will say it's so common nowadays that I don't know if we would take it intrusive, but
I like that perspective. Yeah, I expect IHOP to send me a birthday stack.
Absolutely. I'm signing up. I'm opting in is the word that we use. So I 1,000% expect.
If you were super down, these businesses are small enough that you can take the more personal approach and handwrite a card. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, if someone I think I'd burst into tears.
I know. My gym only did it one time. Their CRM program must be sloppy at best. But they called me on my birthday and wished me a happy birthday.
Really?
A man did. He was
no, my payment will go through, I promise.
Right? I haven't been long enough, I know. But he had said, hey, Heather, is your birthday? I said, yeah. He's like, I just want to wish you a happy birthday from One Life Fitness.
One thing that I will say could go the opposite realm is my son's eye doctor, has this thing, and it always calls him on his birthday, and it says, hello, your son name is Archer. He wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, probably not.
Eye doctors of Nova.
Probably not the move there. If you want true good CRM, the more personal you can get it, the better. Hey, Jan, let's pretend Jan's back in. Yeah. Hey, Jan, I know you ordered for me last year for your birthday. Just wanted to wish you another really sweet happy birthday. And that's all you got to say.
Yeah, remember that set? That was one of the most fun sets.
Right. And then, I don't know, you could include whatever it is, it's just keeping yourself top of mind, because when Jan places that next order, hey, she's going to remember one that you took the time.
And when Jan goes to refer, she might not be in the market right now, but when she goes to refer because someone says, I'm looking for something for my kid's first birthday, you're going to be the thing she remembers.
Right. Okay, like look at my...
Huh?
Just Corey's like looking out the window. Look at the Advanced Auto Tech does my car repair, like mechanic stuff, shop stuff. But I've been going to them for years. And they're very nice people. But if they wrote me a personal email on my birthday or my car's birthday or something, and I'd be like, I've never experienced this before. That's so cool.
Oddly, I saved this. I always think everyone's out to swindle me. So I don't go to that card place. But they sent me a $25 gift card to their services.
I've used mine.
But I was like, does that mean they upped it by $25?
They redeemed mine. Did you? Give it to me.
It said,
give it
the person who has a name on it. It was for Christmas, they sent it.
That's so nice. That's for Christmas. So that's an example of CRM. Corrie had been taking her car there, then stopped, and that's why it's broken up on the side of the road.
That's why I have a new one.
So it's just kind of that, making that unique approach. What I wouldn't recommend is doing a generic email blast. Hey, March birthdays, happy birthday. Like, if you can say... There's applications called mail merge applications where you can have it sub out the name to be like, hey, insert first name. Just wanted to say, things like that.
There was this TikTok that went unfortunately viral, and it was she had a case open with Facebook for some issue that was experiencing, and the Facebook worker that she was working with sent her an email on accident, but it said, hey, insert name here. And then it says, I'm so sorry. It says, your issue number is insert issue number here. And then it says, insert empathy.
Hey, sometimes you got to be reminded. I need to insert empathy in my life.
I'm sorry you're experiencing this issue with Facebook. I'm here to help.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so I would say if you're you can make a CRM out of an Excel spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. It's just keeping really clean data. Customer first name, last name, address, phone number, event they ordered for, what they ordered, when they... Yeah. If you can just keep these identifiable details...
What are some cheap CRMs?
I mean, the cheapest thing is Google Sheets. It's free.
Okay, that helps you.
Streak CRM apparently integrates with Gmail, so when you send an email, I'll add it to your streak, and that one is free for certain limits.
You had Nutshell for a hot minute.
I do like Nutshell. It is more funnel and sales based. So if you're really big into building out, like, hey, I have this client, they're in the beginning of my funnel, this client's about to convert, it has the integration to show you money lost and money won.
Nice.
But also the CRM. So as you're communicating with this client, they move through your funnel. Nutshell will keep that correspondence.
Yeah. If you start Googling CRM, Salesforce is going to pop up there. It's $1 billion.
It's meant for big enterprise.
They have a giant marketing budget, so they're always running ads. So you'll be like, wow, that looks amazing. But I worked with a company that used Salesforce, and it's so in depth, and it's more for teams. So like Heather could take over my entire sales funnel if I had to leave the company and quit or something.
So those people wouldn't drop out. I'll say, like, I can see when Yelp will lose a representative, because we do represent a few small businesses. It'll be like another guy who's just getting started in the CRM, and he's going through his first emails. Hey, I know you were working with this person. I'm your new account rep. And then they'll slowly drop off as well, just because of that. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work to stay on top of CRMs, but you've already won these clients over once.
That's your warmest lead, man. Warmest lead.
Yeah, it's a great point. And it just comes down to really staying organized.
Yeah.
If you teach a cookie class, make a list in class of things that you want to note of those people, then add them to your CRM.
Yeah, like
two people to our right, it was their birthdays. It was their birthday presents. So imagine if I said around February next year, hey, I know it was your birthday next month. I just want to wish you happy birthday.
So I'm sure sign up for our next class.
That's at the end. That's the trade-off. Yeah. Everyone knows what the ultimate thing is, but you're just being a little bit more than your competition. That's, again, back to a SWOT analysis. Most of your competition isn't going back and saying to your clients, Happy Mother's Day, thank you so much for placing an order.
There's a roofing company around this area, and they've gotten smart. But almost like, are they smart or are they not smart? But they have this, they'll send a letter, and it almost looks like some man brought it out in the middle of his truck. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to help these people out. I'm going to give them a deal on there.
It's like he made a quote for your personal house, but when you look sideways, it's actually print.
But it looks so handwritten, and then it's signed like a person's signature.
It even has scribbles.
Yeah, like he tried to get the pen to work.
Yeah, it was genius, but it's also really, you can say that it's also lying. But how many people will notice? How many people would do the research to say that
it's almost like the handwritten birthday card? Is it pre-printed or did they write it out of the goodness of their heart?
Have you seen this thing? I think you can do it with your Cricut. You can do it with your Cricut is to get it to do handwriting.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, I could watch this forever. When you send a card, are you taking the time to write something meaningful? Are you writing happy birthday, signed Corrie? Because that is what my mother-in-law does. And it loses its effect.
So how personal can you get it? I don't think you can get creepy unless you're like, I saw what you did last night in the birthday cake you got from Red Robin.
Good.
Red Robin? No.
I like birthday cake from Red Robin.
What's 31?
Baskin.
There's a lot of robins.
Baskin.
The bird one.
My husband used to give me cards and not write anything on them. This cutter has a little gap right there.
I don't know.
Okay. Heather made me a cutter. Less than
Corrie,
quality.
I made it. I made it, so you knew it was going to be great.
My husband would give me cards, and they wouldn't have any words. They would just be what the Hallmark person wrote. And
That's all I wanted to say, man.
It would just be a card in the envelope, almost like he just purchased it from the store, threw it in there.
What did you want him to
I
say?
went those words,
It
and then I
said
want you to
everything you
elaborate
needed
on those
to
words
say.
with your own words.
The double underline of their words doesn't count?
So then I gave him a card, and I just signed my name on it one time, and he said, "That's really rude."
Corrie will get back at you one way or another. You just won't know. Okay, voicemail number 3. It's kind of funny.
Hi, twins. It's Elizabeth Toast. I was calling to say 2 things. One, I absolutely love the cookie college. So anyone on the fence, you should do it because it's like a sorority. You're paying for friends, which is, I think, my favorite part of it. And the second thing I was calling about was I would love to send you some brownies. Unfortunately, you never checked the mailbag, and I'm so worried I'm going to send you brownies, and then it's going to be a couple weeks, and you're going to eat them, and it's not good. So keep that in mind. Maybe it could be like a reward, like start checking the mailbag regularly. Maybe you'll get a brownie. Up to you. So thanks for everything you guys do. And my favorite twin is probably...
That is hilarious.
Okay. Also, all right.
Did you go to the mailbag? Maybe there's brownies.
I didn't know there was brownies in there.
She didn't.
To be gotten.
They're brown brownies now.
Wait, when was this voicemail?
A while ago.
How long is a while ago?
February 21st.
Gosh darn it. It's a month away. No, I've been in a month.
I gotta apologize. Elizabeth Toth. We've been calling you Elizabeth Toth for all the live
That's a hard
promotion
part of reading a name online.
Oh, yeah. If somebody said, can you pronounce it in real life? I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I cannot.
But we do call you like a friend. I say, yeah, Toth said.
Like even drop off the Elizabeth. Just like Toth said. But Toth said.
My bad.
Anyway,
okay.
Toth taught a Facebook Live. It's weird. Toth.
I gotta learn it.
Toth taught a Facebook Live on her prop closet, which was overflowing with goodies.
Oh, I was in there like somewhere.
And then actually, if you really want to learn photography, she's very good at really using Lightroom.
Yeah.
And then, if I'd say, if you're sitting on the fence with Lightroom, Toth is going to give you the push you'll need to say, there's a lot of power in this. Corrie, you were editing a photo and your grays were gray and we wanted them white, so we just combed them out.
We did. Don't even know what I did, but the eggs were white.
The eggs were gray. Like sad little eggs.
Okay. Now that I know browns are in there, I'll
I don't think their brownies are in there. I think she was saying, like, if you just don't know what you're going to get.
Toth. Oh, Toth. Tell me when you put them in there.
Also, there's some mail in there. They keep emailing me.
I don't get the emails. I was just there.
I thought I set up a filter that it automatically forwards to.
I did just go. Okay. I said, what are you?
I said, me passing the buck along to Corrie.
Delete.
Okay, group stuff. I just finished my Facebook Live, but we have a Facebook Live coming up with Gina Marie Burke. If you have not taken Gina's live, she's the first person to ever teach a live in sugar cookie marketing.
She was not. It was actually my friend. No.
Who?
I know her at Sugar Bolt Bakery. She was.
Yeah. And Gina had to be right up there at the beginning, right? Yeah. Gina and her husband, Gina has pink turtle cookies. She sent us some of them. They're delicious. And she's teaching a Facebook Live on turning a yes a no into turning a yes into a no. Turning a no into
I know,
a
do
yes.
that all the time.
So I really recommend doing that one. She's very good at her business. She has quite the business. So if you want to take a class from her, I highly recommend. That'll be at the end of March 24th, I think.
Nice.
And if you'd like to teach a Facebook Live, you do not have to be the best. You just have to have done it. You
just
have
like
to
a
have
class.
done the thing you want to talk about.
Even if you did a farmer's market and it tanked,
Let
there's
us
so much
learn.
learning that can happen from there. Because I have tanked classes, as you know. So I've learned a lot, and that's how I can pass along what works, what I would do differently next time, and things like that.
And it's really awesome that you guys are giving your knowledge back to the community. You're helping other people attain their goals.
Yeah.
And it's pretty selfless that you're doing it. So I'm really impressed with
I think we
anybody.
have over 100 lives.
We do. Ask me how I know.
I think
There's
I
a
might have to
spreadsheet
start
of them.
posting about them.
Okay,
like,
well, I'll send you the
people can-
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of content there. And I think if you sat down, it would take you over a month to get through it.
Let me just tell you the things that you can see in these lives. Pre-sales, pop-ups, cookie rooms, photography, classes. What else is in
Let me
there?
pull it up.
There's a
I got it
bazillion
in a
things.
spreadsheet. I got it in a spreadsheet. Tell all on porch picks ups with Christy Edwards. How to create, build, and grow a cookie business newsletter with Jennifer Grow. Packing a punch with packaging with Fresia Malone. Cookie subscription boxes, aka cookie clubs with Amy Alderman Russell. Selling in a small town farmers market. Tell all with Natalie Hest. Designing custom tags, cookie cards, and printables in Canva and Microsoft Word with Kate. CookieCon Q&A with Brenda from Dough Easy. Virtual macaron bake along with Martha. It just goes on and on.
And our very first one was from my friend Sugar Bowl Bakery, and she did it on how to make videos on Instagram. She does so many. She has right now 11,400 followers on the grams, and she tells you how her setup is and why it looks so crispy and crunchy all the time.
Yeah, that was the first one. And then the second one was how to make cookie cutters with Sam's Cookie University.
Wow.
Wow, look at them all. There's so many. So many of you guys are so nice. And then a couple of you guys canceled, and I hate you. I just
No, but if you want to, if you had an idea, if something's already been done, hey, guess what? We have so many new people always joining the group. They have missed the first one.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it. So you'll have new eyes, new ears, and you provide a new perspective that they may not have been able to cover. So
Yeah, so if you want to, you can write in the group, or you can sign up at sugarcookiemarketing.com / it's either
live.
Live?
It's just not
singular.
plural. Uh-huh.
Okay, live. And then you can just sign up there, and I give you a tutorial on how to go live.
Yeah.
Twinterest.
Twinterests.
Do you have anything?
Yes.
Really?
It's nothing to do with
Go on.
cookies, really. Okay, Dunkaroos are back. The ones from our childhood
Yes, they're delicious.
are back.
Delectable.
I have purchased them out of the grocery store. There are no more because of me. But there is this gas station across town that I can go, and they have them in there.
Okay.
The other day I bought some.
Okay.
And the lady, I was definitely going to just say they were for my kid. She was like, can I ask you, are these for you or for your child?
Okay.
And I said, I was definitely going to lie to you and tell you for my kid, but they're definitely for me. She's like, I was so happy when they started carrying them here. The chocolate ones are not good. I accidentally purchased 4 chocolate ones, and just on principle, I couldn't waste it, so I had to eat them. Trash. Garbage.
Garbage.
The ones that are great and taste just like
Is
our
the one with the
childhood.
sprinkles in it?
Yes, they are called vanilla.
Also, the vanilla guy's good. Just
No,
straight vanilla.
this
dude.
one, it's called vanilla, but there's sprinkles in it. I had to sit there and stare, and I said, am I getting...
How many of these are you packing away?
I get
How
4
many
at
of
a
you?
time.
And you eat all 4?
No, this is what
You eat all 4?
I
We were
can't-
not allowed to eat all 4.
No,
as
2
kids.
at night, 2 for one dessert, 2 for the next dessert. I went to get 2 for my next dessert, and I had them sitting on the table, and then one was gone. There was only
You
one
took it,
left.
Arch?
Arch came home, and I said, what did you have for lunch? Because he packs his own lunch. He's like, yeah, I had a Dunkaroo. I said, those were not for you. And he said,
treats.
he said, well, good thing, because when I tried to open it, it flung all the cookies
you
out.
gotta know what you're doing,
I
man.
said, bro, it's a science, man.
You gotta pull it taut sideways.
And I said,
slowly.
please don't tell me I have to disown you and that you threw away
This
the
frosting.
buttercream side. He's like, no, I licked it out with my tongue. I said, okay, you're my child.
We are related. How do you dip? Is it equal spread icing on, or do you wait till the last guy gets? And is it a circle? Did you save the circle cookie?
Here's it. It's two circle cookies. The D on it for Dunkaroos are facing outward.
Yes. You
They
need a
are
flat
together.
surface for. You create a cookie?
No, I use them
stabilized
as a
circle?
stabilized.
How much force are you having that they're going to break?
They're not going to break because there's 2. And when you do 2 at a time, there's enough icing to go all the way to the end. And the last one will be a single cookie, and you do a big old scoopage. You will get a little bit on the fingertips. And that is your...
I can tell you the funniest thing. I get a message to the Sugar Cookie marketing page, and it said, "I'm so sorry. You may think I'm insane, but I'm sitting outside of Target right now." So I had to click.
You said this in your live, you weirdo.
Yeah, but nobody listens to it.
I listened to it.
And she says, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but you guys are talking about a texturizing powder. I'm about to walk into Target right now. Do you mind telling me what it is?" I was like, "Girl, you caught me at a great time. Here's a picture of it. The Kristen Ness texturizing powder." And she went in and she came back out and she was like, "Oh man, they're sold out of it in every store around me. So I got this other one." She's like, "I'm going to tell you how it works." She's like, "But also takes me forever to finally shower and do my hair. So it may be a couple months." And I said, "Yeah, I was about to tell you that the Kristen Ness powder lasts forever. But I realized when you only take 5 showers a year, that's not a bragging point."
Is that your thing?
Oh,
This, you've talked about it though. The texturizing powder, if you have, like, we like to straighten our hair and then you want to have a little zhuzh in volume, this texturizing powder gives your hair something to grab onto. So it gives you like this fake volume. But you put it in there, you kind of swishel it around, and
less
then
is more. Less is
start
more.
with less.
Add more.
Add more.
All right. My Twinterest is a psychological question. I just wonder if people can relate to it. I have too many clothes. I just have too many. A lot of them are the same thing. They're these really, really nice, well-made business jackets. I love a business jacket.
Of business jackets.
But I cannot possibly wear all of them. So why do I feel the need to keep them?
Because in my mind,
Corey's defending. She doesn't want to get her own.
Yeah, I have my own. You have spent the money.
So the money's back.
No, listen. If you give them away, donate them, whatever, sell them, whatever you're going to do, and you need them again, you will then part twice with the same amount of money versus just keeping it.
However, I'm not wearing them. So the true reality, Corey's not a good influence for this stuff. I need you guys to weigh in.
No.
Corey's a weirdo. She's a weirdo. But yeah, so the donation guy is coming. I have every bit of access to donating things, but I'm having the mental struggle with knowing that I'll be happier with fewer things.
That I got to do it?
Monday.
Okay.
So I'll be happier with fewer things. I'll have things that I truly want to wear. I'll have given the things that I don't want to wear but are really nice to people who could get use out of them. The world is a happier place if I give it up, but I'm having such the mental struggle to do that.
Yeah.
The mental struggle of our own humanity.
So if you know how to recondo Heather's life, let us know.
It all brings happiness. I've gone through the stuff that didn't bring happiness. So what happens when the only stuff left is a lot of happiness?
Is it Maria Kondo or Marie Kondo?
Marie.
Okay.
Okay, going to our sponsors. Eddie.
I have been just eddying.
Corey has tasted it on the sweet nectar of Eddie.
I have just been eddying any white surface in my house. If you check out the Eddie page, there is a post that has right now over 800 lines. Taken by yours truly.
Of a cookie. And we gave away, it's so funny, Corey had printed, she made these little eggs cookies.
Yeah.
And printed on them with Eddie. And then we gave them away in this cute little baggie that Corey gives out some classes when she's feeling kind. Mm. And everyone came in and I was like, "What's your goals?" "Oh, my goal is to learn cookies, but I could never do that." That's what they pointed out the other day. I said, "It's so funny. That is not
Corey's talent."
No. It is an edible 3D printer. It's an edible food printer. And I said, "He ain't cheap." I said, "But he easy."
I said, "Guess what? All it took to learn that was press print."
Yeah, if you can print on your computer, which my grandma can't. So. But if you can press print on your computer, you can be an Eddie cookie decorator. And a few people said, like,
stinking cute.
It was way too cute. It was illegally cute.
It was. I'll show you guys a picture
post
soon.
A picture of it. Yeah. Do podcast reference, hashtag.
Okay, that would be good. And then I did these cutest mini little peep bunnies. But I printed on them this morning, so they're drying. So when I get home, I'll...
Right. I feel like Eddie just absolutely sticks the landing with repetitive textures.
Anything that you would use airbrush, so like background. So if you were trying to do, like, you know how like people like to do the baby colors and you do it in that pattern? That would be perfect for it.
I feel like when you start forcing Eddie into shapes, you got to really know what you're doing. You can do it.
That I don't know how to do.
Right. But you kind of almost need the Milton tray, if you've heard of it.
Can you give me that?
Christy Milton. Yeah, I got to print it though. I've asked her so many times. She's probably annoyed.
She's
probably like, "You're annoying.
Stop it.
Stop asking me for the links." And things like that. And then we're going to order the Mac tray. That's from Eddie.
Yes.
And I have an M&M tray.
I saw someone use it.
Yeah, but who's going to do M&Ms?
I don't know. I will.
Okay.
What if you put a little egg on each M&M?
People would be like, it's too little for me to see what it is. Anyways, Eddie's super cool. I'd definitely check him out. They have a refurbished program if he's a little out of your budget. I'd say look for people selling theirs, but it rarely happens. That's how much people seem to like him. He's $2,000.
They got a group, so you can get into the group.
You can really see a lot of great information before you make your purchase.
Yep. Trials and errors, people, what they've done, what works for them, so you can kind of tweak what you need to. I realized you want to do a thicker white icing if you can.
A drier too, like drier icing.
Well, that would be thicker.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Go on.
Thanks.
Speaking of layman's
would you like to
terms.
join my cookie class? I would love to teach you about this.
Christina, she came over and used our Eddie and then turned around and bought her own. So you tell me.
She's my competition. And I
right? SWOT analysis. Bakety Bake is our meringue powder sponsor.
Yes.
Sponsor.
And she made Royal Batch. In the baking group, because we have more than one group, because who likes to sleep anyways? In the baking group, someone did a test, and they tested different ingredients using Royal Batch as the meringue powder. So it was a fantastic post. If you want to go and find it, and you can see how she tested it. She broke the cookie, she took a bite of it, and she gave you like her findings. But you can get the Royal Batch. That's what I use, and that's what I've used with my Eddie cookies and things like that. And someone, I think, emailed me. I have to email them back about that.
Okay.
You can use the code TWINS, and you can get 10% off at checkout. And it is Bakety Bakes, Idaho.
I'm not going to say it. What did you just call me?
.com.
Cast iron. We're still mid-March. That means cast iron is feeless. Fearless.
What
does it say? Feeless. They're not charging fees in March. That means if you're getting started with cast iron today, if you make any sales through March, you make 100% of the profit. Otherwise, it is a free platform until you make a sale and they take percentage. How you want that percentage divvied up is up to you.
You can take it on. You can give it to the customer. You can
go
split it
50-50. So yeah, that's pretty neat. You can go tag Emily Brungarter. Go to castiron.me and look at various stores and awesome features that they have. It is by bakers for bakers. So it has really cool features like being able to take custom orders in the way a cookier would need to.
Yes.
That frustration of trying to force Square to do something it wasn't designed to do is gone with cast iron. So definitely check them out if website 2022 is your goal.
You could get it done tomorrow.
Right.
Because they're willing to help you do it.
Okay, what's in the mailbag?
Oh, wait.
Brownies! We did not get the mail. Will you get the mail?
I'll get the mail.
Can you say it on the podcast and promise to them?
Hold on. This week I am raising funds for Ukraine.
So you're not getting the mail?
So I have to figure out everything I have to do with work and bake for
Are you taking Archer to your Sunday date?
Oh, on Sunday, yeah. The Ukraine.
You just need to get it before Tuesday. Next week.
Oh, maybe Monday.
When did you think you needed to get it?
I thought you were making me go this week.
I think you should go sometime soon.
You were at my house last week
because you forgot a cookie cutter.
Why didn't
so I
way back?
Because it was Sunday, wasn't it?
No, it was Friday.
It's not. Why did I have to print an emergency cutter?
Right. I have too many cutters.
And Corrie thought she had it. I sent it to her on Monday.
You know when you see a cutter and you're like, I know what that cutter is because I've had it for a bazillion years. And then I went and I said, yeah, I need this bunny foot cutter for tomorrow. No, when I took that off my pegboard, it was a carrot cutter.
Yep. So I had an emergency print a cooking cutter.
Did you make it smaller than it was? That was the same size?
I didn't even recreate it. I just printed the file. It was the exact same one I made.
No wonder.
Memory does fail you. Okay, kids.
Hold on.
Oh.
We're
23 minutes over.
Remember what she said? You can just
yeah.
go. How did the hen get to work so fast? She used the express lanes.
It's all road jokes. Hi, guys.